Come right in. I'm sure my computer won't work again today. What's been frozen?
When are you going to get a new one?
Oh, man. I'm just, some things that I don't find necessary, I just hate to spend money on. Like a computer is one thing. But it is moving. What are you chatting about over there distracting me, Larima? What are you saying? I don't do well when other people are talking or hidden noise in the background. Tell y'all a little funny story. Before we get started into today's morning grind, when you don't feel like you are, I can't read all that. Can y'all read it?
No.
We need to do something about that. People need to be able to see the title or they may not click on it.
Can y'all see titles on your phone? No. I can't. I never can. It never shows it on my phone.
We need to put a title up there where people can see it. Or they. What did I say, Van?
When you don't feel like things are working out for you, here's what that means.
Okay, whenever you feel like things aren't working out for you, that means something. Me and Hayden were talking about this yesterday. Time for a new computer, I agree. But before we get into this topic, man, Lucky, our dog, has had a lot of problems over the last couple of months. He's 8 years old, and the other day he got out. Like whenever Hayden babysits Lucky, it's not uncommon something happens to her dog. Well, Lucky got out. I called Van. We're all looking for him in the neighborhood. Well, whenever you're an 8-year-old boxer, your body becomes frail. So he got out, and man, when he came back to the house, he looked like crippled. Like, what's happened? Like his back hips, we just took him to the vet, and he's got tendonitis where he's got some nerve damage. So if you watch him walk, his front legs may go straight, but his damn hips, he might start walking sideways because he can't feel his back hips. So we took him to the vet, and what we found out is he's got some nerve issues. So then we took him back after he got out because he was limping on his front paw. Well, what we found out was whenever he went out, he hurt his neck. So he's just like a little gimped up dog. I mean, 6 months ago, he was running all over the place, so now he's just pitiful. It's just like, damn, I need to pick this big guy up and just carry him around with me. That's how bad it is. So this morning, Brittany had to do something with Nick, and she's like, hey, give Lucky his medicine, his pain medicine. So I go in there and I open it up, and I'm like, shit, it's like 5 bottles of pain medicine. I'm like, he takes all this shit? 5 bottles of pills? And she's like, no, there's only a few of them in there. And I just broke down and got I'm like, I ain't giving him all this medicine. So I call her up and she's bitching at me because she's trying to do something. And I'm like scared to death this morning. It took me forever. Like 5 bottles of pain pills. I'm like, I am not giving Lucky all this pain medicine. Hey, and it was like, give 2 to 3 pills twice a day. Like, he would have taken like 13 pills. And Brittany's like, no, he only takes 2 of them. I'm like, bullshit. She said, just give him the one that says for pain. And I'm counting them out, and there's 5 bottles in there for pain.
Lucky's a drug addict.
Lucky is a damn drug addict. So I gave him a couple of them. I'm like, man, I just feel dirty. I feel like a drug dealer, like getting my dog high. I mean, I did not like how I was feeling. And then I'm thinking, man, what if something happens because I give him all these pills? So that's what I've been doing this morning. But today, we're not talking about Lucky. We're talking about, hey, I'm sure everybody has felt this phenomenon. You get excited, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, anything in your life where it begins with excitement and then it kind of wears into second guessing. Have you ever done that? Especially in this business, y'all are going to feel like that in this business because this business starts off with excitement. I'm going to get rich, and it gets hard.
We'll close 50 houses in a year.
Yeah, last year, Josh and Drew were going to sell 50 apiece.
That'd be nice for numbers.
Yeah, that would have been real good. Here, we're still going. But whenever you start something and your excitement fades, or whenever you're growing, pain, hard times, it comes. And one time I was complaining about this to my buddy Brad Lee, and wherever you are, you've hit this ceiling of complexity where you are. Right now, you're stuck. And for you to get over the hump, some things are going to have to change. You're going to have to get a little bit better. You're going to have to do a little bit more. Those are the two things that you got to focus on. Now, sometimes it's just going to take a little bit of time to get over the hump. But too often people quit. We're talking about a guy yesterday. What's up, Scott? How are you? His presentation, if he were to walk in here, he would wow you with likability, enthusiasm. You'd think, man, this guy would be able to do anything. Wouldn't you think that? Well, I started saying some things that started making sense. Successful people do this one thing. If you want to be successful, learn how to stay in and stay committed to something. And that's hard to do because whenever every day you're training yourself for something in the future. Like today, my workouts sucked because I'm just struggling. Whenever you do something and you quit, you're teaching yourself to quit when times get tough. Does that make sense? Why do you think you're teaching yourself that?
You're listening to yourself that whenever it gets hard, you can just quit.
You can just quit and it gets easier. The feeling gets easier, but your growth does not happen. Whenever you quit things, whenever you change ideas, whenever you skip around a lot, that releases this pressure, this pain that you have on yourself. That's why it's so important. I don't know how often I tell y'all to do this, but I should be telling y'all to do this all the time. How important it is to finish things. 75 hard. Are you still doing it, Noah? See, it's hard. But I'm telling you, you got to finish things. 75 hard is a tough thing to just say, hey, I'm going to do that. I mean, it's real tough. Before I did it, completed it, I probably tried 2 or 3 times. So instead of starting out doing something that is almost impossible, let's focus on things that you can do every single day and you complete the task. And over time, you're going to become a believer in yourself that you complete shit. What do we want to do every single day? How many of you hit your calls? Let me pull it up. I should have started every single day. Josh said 75 hard is starting to really suck. I should. So let's reward the people that hit their targets yesterday. How often do you hear me talking about hitting targets?
Every day.
Why do you think I want y'all to do that?
How powerful they are to reaching our goals.
Well, I want you to teach yourself. So yesterday, Hayden, you had a really good day. You set 4 appointments, but you only made 47 phone calls. Is 47 phone calls a lot of calls? It is a good day, but man, you've got something else. You were 3 away. Why? See, these are these agreements where I'm talking about where you get stuck and you start looking at yourself, or I'll start looking at your shit for you and saying, well, here's why. It's little things. It's these little bitty things that you're doing or you're not doing that's stopping you from moving forward. Good day yesterday. 4 appointments, 47 phone calls. A lot of people are going to say, dude, that's awesome. But you know what you're supposed to do. You don't do it for me. You don't do it for anybody. You do these things for yourself. Noah, we're changing your name. Nova. I had an old buddy named Noah, and this guy always called him Nova. He couldn't say it. I always want to call you Nova. Noah hit 51 calls yesterday. What's his target? 50 phone calls. Steve Naroji, whoever that guy is. See work here? He set an appointment. Andrew Kilgore. 1 appointment, 0 calls, 0 talk time, 0 text, 0 emails. You ever seen Animal House? Have you?
Definitely didn't hit my targets yesterday.
You didn't hit your target. So, see, here's what you're going to struggle with. It's called a false positive when you're selling all these houses without doing what got you here. You start to believe, man, I ain't got to do all that. Guess what happens?
Quit selling houses.
Eventually, it's somewhere out there. There is a horizon that's running out of runway right now. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what that means? Right now, you can just keep going down this road, looking out the horizon, see the road, but that shit's about to stop. Unless you change this. Kaylin came in yesterday. Hey, we would like it if you could get to 50 phone calls. Could you do that? Are you capable of calling 50 people? It can be hard. It is. Hey, this ain't easy, by the way. But that's why there's such a reward for yourself. You made 14 calls yesterday. Josh made 2, but he is sick. Larima, we're not counting you yesterday because, we didn't even know if you're ever gonna be able to make it back. How sick you've been. We've all been sick, haven't we? Now everybody except a few people have gone through this here COVID. What I'm talking about is doing things that you say you're going to do. And that's how you're going to keep expanding. What happens if you call 50 people and it gets to where it's easy? You're going to eventually hit that ceiling of complexity. If you want to keep growing. Growing, by the way, there's really not much fun in growth. It sounds fun, but it's always painful. It's always something. It's always stressful. It's always disappointing. It's always hard. But I want to be an example to you guys. If you continue to do this, what your life will look like in a year or in 2 years. Too often people give up because it didn't happen now. Like the guy we were talking about. I mean, you're never going to get things until you can accumulate time, until you can accumulate hours, until you can go through this to where there's an actual payoff. The payoff will come. I can look at your numbers, Andre. You've got a payoff coming this year. All those things you did last year, all the things you've done in your past has helped you have a really great start to 2000 and what year is it, 21? I don't even know my years. But look at what he's doing. Last year, he wasn't doing what he's doing right now, were you? But whenever you come in and you put in the time and you're getting better every single day. And I feel like we're a rare team, a rare company where we improve every day. I was talking to this guy the other day and we were talking about somebody else and he was like, well, she ain't getting any better. Too often people are in a job, in a career where they're not getting any better. They're just coming in and it's just a day, a different day, and a different day. But I want you to look at yourselves like you're athletes coming in every single day, and my skill level got a little bit better. When your skills improve, it will be impossible to not make more money. So whenever you're not hitting the targets, whenever you're not getting the result. See, most people always track the result. I always track the target because the target happens before the result. Do you know what the result is?
Final product and your target. Your goal.
The money. See, that's what everybody's looking at. Hey, it was just not happening. Well, the people that aren't getting the result that they wanting or that they want, are they doing every single thing every single day to hit that target? Most people probably aren't. You guys are. You guys are coming in and improving every single day. It's hard. It's very hard to be aware of this when the result's not there. If you don't believe me, look at Drew. He's starting to yield the harvest, so to speak. So if you're somebody and you're in a job right now and you're always looking for the job that's going to improve your life, And I can say this. You want me to tell you why I can say this? Because I was this dude. I remember at in my early 20s, 22, 23, 24, 25, I was looking for the job that was going to make me. Oh, I want this job. Look at this job. Ooh, I'd like to go work down in Florida. Ooh, because I was a stockbroker. Shitty stockbroker. But I was looking for all these jobs where I can get this job and it's going to bring me to this level. That's not the way it works. Because the job that I was wanting had better people trying to get those jobs. So I never did get them. Never did get those jobs, damn it. The problem was I wasn't saying I'm going to improve to where people can't tell me no. So so we're clear on this, how do you think you can come in every single day and get better? Call. Train. Role play. Read. Whenever you guys, I don't know if you haven't made enough calls over there, new girl, but you three guys here and Josh, y'all are probably better than probably 99 point some odd. I would say there's probably very few people that are as good as y'all on the phone, especially calling and getting through greetings and overcoming time objections. Most people, if they were to come in here and see what y'all are doing and the way you're talking to people, they would be like, damn. Just like you probably were whenever you were watching Drew. When you were watching Drew and Josh, what did you think at first, Noah?
Like, damn, they're pretty good. I mean, they're overcoming objections. They're not just taking no as an answer. I mean,
so now you're one of them. I mean, I don't know. Do you feel like you're that good, or how do you feel when you're on the phone?
I feel like I'm comparable.
Hey, he thinks he's better than you. But how did you feel when you first got here?
With myself?
On the phone. How much confidence did you have, like, hey, I can get on the phone with this person, and I feel like, hey, I can shut them down?
Yeah, I didn't feel like I shut them down. I was confident to make the calls, but I wasn't confident with the context of the call.
How do you feel now?
Confident.
See, that's something that you've built. And how long have you been here? 3 months?
Around there, yep.
Okay, well, imagine what your life, if you keep doing this, imagine what your life is going to look like next May. Not this May. Have this target that you're getting for, but how much can you improve between now and May 22nd, my birthday? How much?
A lot.
You can improve a lot, but how much more could you improve between that May or this May and next May? That's where the improvement, that's where the payoff happens, is when you do this shit for a year straight. There's all, like, if you went on a diet for 2 weeks, worked out hard, you did your 75 hard for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, how would you look compared to doing it for a month versus doing it for a year? See, people don't stay in the fight long enough to get the big payoff. They skip around, they hop around because they're looking for the payoff. You build the payoff, and it takes time. It takes commitment. It takes courage, and you build the confidence. Everybody have a great day. I'm starting to feel better. Getting back. Shut us down, Van Grafton.